This is a start ramp of the mixer at Eagle MTB Park, and this is the state champs track this year, 2021. Inside line, mountain bike club, downhill, the slash. So come off that start ramp, over this little double rock. Not too bad. If it's windy, if it's a crosswind, it's a little bit cautious, but outside of that, it's not too bad. Just get a bit of speed out of your start ramp. Left, right, and then off the bridge into the good stuff. So let's go and have a look. So as you step off this bridge here, you either got to go down to the right, which is a bit safer, a bit more flowy, a little bit of a longer run into what we're doing. So from this bridge, we're going to my left, so camera's right. So we're staying high on the ridge. If you go low, too high, you got a little bit of a huck right next to the camera here to make it back up onto the main line, or it's kind of a double huck. But if you go straight line here, stay on the inside of this, right on top of this ridge, this spine, you can pretty much straight line down into the next section, but you do have a little off-cambery, sketchy bit to deal with. So faster line, a little bit more consequential. Let's have a look. So regardless of the slightly longer distance on this right hand line, my preference will be that right hand line, I think, as long as it holds up well, which it can't see why I wouldn't. It just sets you up a little bit squarer for this next section. So that little section there brings us to this rock booter. So I'm not too sure exactly how they're going to bunt it, whether they're going to have a beeline and then make a square off behind the beeline, or just have that beeline running straight through, which will actually be the faster line around this rock. I'd assume they won't make that just straight through, because they're going to want to make it a little bit technical. This rock's a bit intimidating because it's quite vertical and you come down quite fast. So when you hit this, your job is to keep the bike up as you go over it. If you're trying to put the bike down straight away, you're going to go bah, 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 and just back wheel in the air. It's not going to be a fun experience. So coming in, push the bike into it to a point so it bounces up and off. So it's easier to show you than to describe it. But I'm just going to slam into it and then float over it. Let's have a look. So this whole spine, this traverse, is fairly straightforward. This is the corner you just see me hit then, and then it goes into a flat, kind of bumpy sprint, and then it drops into the juicy stuff. So come off that spine there, off the ridge, through here. I've just trimmed all these bushes, so most people wouldn't have even known this track even existed, or this part of the track even existed, unless you've raced it. We raced this in 2010 National Champs. It was epic. So come here, it starts to get a little steeper. Got to catch this berm. There's not much on the end of it, so be wary and make sure your eyes are up, because it just fades away and you can easily fall off the edge of that and wash your front. So through here, you got to wash a little bit of speed off there as you're coming into this. Check yourself here. Here's another flat spot to wash some speed. This will all end up as braking bumps. Into here now, this is where it gets fun and steep. So quite a steep shoot through here. Stay wide, stick yourself on this wide side, the left hand side here. Then you got a little drop right here, and then you have to try and get on this camber and stay on that right hand line, because if you look deeper right down there, that's the catch for the berm, and that berm will get blown out as well, and it will almost definitely be dry. So this is going to be loose as a goose. If you stay inside, you have to be on the brakes, and you won't really get a boost out of that bottom corner to raise over the bridge and into the next section. Let's have a look. So come over that bridge into a little right-hander U-turn. Pretty straightforward. If you set yourself up higher, it works well. Set yourself up on the inside, just lay the bike over a little bit more and cut the course a touch. Down here, now this creek gap, a little bit sketchy. The creek gap itself's good, but if you can see in the distance, we've got so creek gap, compression, and then another little Buddha. If you're not neutral after this compression on the creek gap, that's going to send you a little bit OTB, a little bit front door. So be mindful as you're coming down here that once you land that creek gap, you have to get back neutral, ready to take this next little compression, because that is not a spot you want to crash. You'll end up down to the left in them rocks or against the wall. So let's have a look how that works. So that brings us into this, what they call stinky koala. So it's the alternate line for this rock garden. You've got the stairs and whatnot down here. We're coming into this sucker. So come up over this little rise. Left-hander that's going to be loose as a goose. And then you got this boulder which kind of delineates the two lines. So you can go, as long as they leave the bunting open, you can go through here, kind of off the boulder if you like, or stick to the wider, safer line. And then you got options again through this little chute. So you can either hold your straight line off of that boulder or the inside of the boulder, keep pedaling, keep pinging down here and kind of veering to the right. Or again, you can go the safer line, just watch your pedal and derailleur on this rock on the entry and square yourself up so you can send that nice and square and tiptoe down. If you're not too sure about the takeoff here, that's a little bit more advanced. Tiptoe down to the left, drop down to the main line and then drop again and you'll be safe. Otherwise, just point and shoot. So here's a closer look at this bottom chute. So from here, huck to flat, it's kind of a couple of meters drop. Huck to the left here, my old line. Or, as Warby just pointed out, we've got just a roll to the right here. So you can literally roll, keep your tyres on the ground the whole time, but there's a root on the exit and there's a rock to the left of the exit. So you kind of got to be careful there, but you're pretty safe. So that's pretty much all we had time for. Put in a fair effort, but just ran out of time at the end. You get the idea, you get the gist. I could probably go out and get the last little bits and pieces, but run a little bit low on time, so I'll call it at that. The bike was good. The track's killer. If you guys are racing it, wear your armour. Whatever armour you got, wear it. If you got a neck brace, wear it. It's just going to increase your confidence and allow you to have a little more fun. And number one, just enjoy yourselves. So if you're racing, have a crack and yeah, good luck.